Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is your boy Tanveer Syed, and welcome to the second part of of the series of these videos, where I intend to do it at least a series if possible. Um, First of all, I hope all of you are doing well and keeping safe, especially in this COVID crisis the entire world is going through right now. So today I'm gonna talk about my high school experience as a visually impaired person. Now, back where we left off, I finished grade school and somehow managed to basically learn how the international system I was studying under would help me out in completing my grade school, secondary school, O levels, because I was under the British system. Then I moved on to the A levels, and this was under the GCE, General Certification of Education. This was under, because before I was under UCLES, it was under Cambridge University. This was under London University. Okay, so I had to shift schools because at that time my previous school did not provide A levels. Right now they do. This sort of further a testament to their expansion and their success. So well, at least back in the day, like whilst I was still there. Okay. Now, from what I understand, they have taught disabled students before. And let me give you an example. This school, I went to other schools looking for acceptance. And this is one of the parts that I won't forget. Like, I went to a Cambridge school, Cambridge High School. They said no because he is legally blind. I went to other schools. They said no because, like I even called up schools in another city. They not only said no, they said no with an attitude. They said that no, you have an attitude because you have an accent. Like you think you're some big shot. I won't take the name of the school here, but all says like, really? I'm just asking a genuine question. And you're gonna have this type of dismissive attitude towards me. I'm like, okay. Like, they said no anyways. Okay. One of the schools, I remember me and my dad, we sort of like, humbly requested, like, is there anything that could be done? And this was a very big school. I remember their principal, not only did he say no, but he actually physically pushed me and my dad out of his office. I will not forget this. Finally, I went to a school where, like, uh, let's just say there are other ways that the school sort of knew about, like, well, me in a way. And the principal said no, but I went to the vice principal, the second in command, and he was a very nice guy. He said that, "Oh, wait a minute, you're this guy?" And believe me, like I even won an award. I mean, this award didn't come until I was like I started school in this new school, but okay, I'll get to that in a little bit. But he looked at me like, "Wait, you're this guy? Okay, get admitted. Get admitted. I'll take care of the rest." And eventually, that's what ended up happening. So, in my grade school, we had a minimum of 5 subjects that we could take, and I took the 5 subjects that I found relevant to me. I did not take business and economics and accounting. Computer studies, it was impractical for me to take it at that time. Bengali was also impractical for me to take at that time. Okay, so the subjects I took were mathematics, and we had to take 2 subjects. I ended up taking 3 initially. I ended up taking mathematics, biology, and chemistry. For some reason, I just didn't like physics. For some reason, is like they. I like astronomy. In fact, like I rediscovered my fascination for astronomy. It's to the point where if you've been following my comments that I post on certain astronomy documentaries and astronomy videos, you'll see like where I come from in terms of a lot of the arguments that I make. But anyways, mathematics, biology, and chemistry. And mathematics included mechanics. Biology was the only subject that was available that did not examine their students using lab work. So that was going to be an issue. And I thought, like, okay, this is a much bigger school. They have government backing, so they might be able to help me out. Like at this time, I didn't, like, I thought that surely there must be other visually impaired people like me who go through all this stuff. Yeah, turns out that no, there most likely wasn't. Because if there is, the information is hidden. It's the equivalent of there not being anyone else out there. Because if the information is hidden, then people cannot vicariously learn, and vicarious acquisition is extremely, and I cannot emphasize the extremely part of it, extremely important for functionality and development. Okay. But this school, my mathematics teacher, he tried. He tried. Obviously, he had his limitations because he was teaching many classes at that time. So he tried, and he helped me out on the sidelines as much as he could. But he also had a bit of a condition. So there's a slight limit to how much he could work. In fact, like I was there when he had a bit of an incident. So yeah, he tried the most he could. Biology. This was a person who's like a British citizen, but he was actually by heritage he was from somewhere else. Oh my God, this person helped me out incredibly. Oh my God, like I cannot say enough good things about this man. If you know who you are, sir, you have my utmost gratitude. Because without your support and without the essentially the reciprocity of your dedication that I received as a result of my hard work, I would not have you and a lot of other some other people who helped me out as well. I would have not had the determination to have completed a master's, not only a bachelor's science honors degree, but a master's in biomedical sciences. Okay. This person helped me out as well as much as he could, but class time is limited, and there are many students in your class. I had a mechanics teacher too. The mechanics teacher, he was good, but he was, let's say, a little less energetic. But knowledge-wise, he could he could give college-level lectures. He was that good. Okay, so in the and yes, and the chemistry person, he was, I believe, the only person that I knew of who had a doctoral degree, and he was really out of it. He has been teaching for 40 years, and he essentially conveyed to me that, listen, I just can't do this with you. And given that I have experience on how much extra hassle a teacher has to go through to teach me in that system, where they have a little to no idea about how to teach a visually impaired, legally blind person, I understood. There was another chemistry teacher, he said that just get him to 12th grade. I'll take care of it. But that was not practical, because in the 11th grade, like the like high school, first year high school, we had a 2 year system. The 11th grade, I was with this person, and I had to do chemistry experiments, physically present chemistry experiments as well. There was no getting around that. So taking chemistry was impractical for me, so I had to drop that subject. Although in his class, I showed signs of like I'm just being completely honest. I showed like not to toot my own horn or whatnot. Yeah, like I don't have any horns to toot anyways. But he posed a question like he showed like uh like he wrote the graph of an enzyme, and then he put an arrow, and then the graph went the enzyme reaction, like a chemical reaction with an enzyme. He put an arrow. He says, what's this arrow? And he said, no, I just looked like activation energy. And after that, he told my dad something like he told my dad or his faculty, I can't quite remember, but he told something that in all these years that I have taught, Tanvir was the first person who got this answer correct in the first attempt. So like I said, you know what? God bless his soul. Like I think he actually might have passed away. So God bless his soul. Like if he hasn't passed away, like if you if you're watching this, thank you so much for those kind words. Thank you. I don't hold anything. I don't hold anything against you. But thank you for the encouragement and kind words. Because bits and pieces like that, it went a long way, very long way, to basically build my current attitude, which I might get to later on. But yeah, when I was in the 11th grade, I actually received news that I got an award. I got an award for my achievements. Yeah, it was a special achievement award, and I saw some people who basically took the special part in the special achievement as a derogatory term. I did not take it as a derogatory term. I took it as something that I deserved. I earned. I earned that award because I had to work much harder than a lot of other of my contemporaries to get to essentially a set endpoint with all my other contemporaries. I had to run the much longer race. So yes, I deserve that award. But anyways, the education was not sufficient because the EdXL, that's the system that was called, it was much more rigorous than the IGCSE system. In fact, its rigor goes to the point where even their questions, they don't play around with short answer questions that much. Multiple choice a little bit, but mostly you have long answer questions. They want to fish your knowledge. They want to see. They said, okay, here's a question. Show me what you know. Not that, okay, do you know this, do you know this, do you know this? No. Here's a question. Show me all that you know. Okay. And so for that, my dad hired private tutors. For my mathematics, I went back to my, and I was struggling in mathematics. I went back to my Indian teacher. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name or not because all these copyright restrictions whatnot. But he essentially he was a teacher from India, from Kerala, I think. Yeah, I think he was actually a mathematical prodigy. He had gold medals and stuff. Good Lord, he helped me out. And sir, thank you so much. Because once he helped me out, I became the best student in the class. There was another student. He thought he's also like a British citizen, but he's from Yemen. But me and him, we were locking head, and we had a friendly competition going. But good lord, that extra help it boosts, that extra assistance helped me out a lot. I'll continue this in part 2. All right. Welcome back to part 2. Sorry about the interruption. Someone just knocked on my door. I had to pick up food delivery. All right. So back to this. So, and that was with mathematics. With biology, and also with mathematics, I had I had a couple of teachers. One of them was from Sudan. And interesting thing, the guy from Sudan, he was a good teacher, but like a lot of times, the way I solved a problem, even he was baffled. Wait, really? So bless his heart. Jazakallah khair. So oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll resend that out. Okay. Yeah. Bless his heart. Jazakallah khair, sir. For helping me out with my education. So that was for mathematics, and for biology. I also had a couple of teachers. One of them, like you know, one of them I don't know where he is anymore. The other one also, I don't know where she is anymore. But yeah, she liked me a lot. She was like that aunt type of person, aunt figure type of person. She saw me as one of her nephews. So and she had this Indian lady from Bangalore, and she also helped me out a lot. It's to the point where my 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 best subjects were biology and chemistry. Okay, so come exam time. Come exam time. And to be honest, I started slacking off a little bit as well. And this is one of the mistakes I made. I started slacking off as well because and not that I'm making excuses for it, but if you keep performing at one point, you are going to slack off. Because you can't keep up that intensity 365 24/7 every day of the year. It's just not humanly possible. Your body will start to react in a different way if you keep that up. In fact, it's actually not that good for your health. Okay, but that, and I remember for my final exams, because this was the big EdXL exam. The big EdXL exam where you have outside invigilators and whatnot. This is going to be heavily monitored, from the British Council itself. And I floated a commercial out in the newspapers. And because my school said you have to provide your own reader, writer, scribe. Okay, I floated out a commercial, for a reader, writer, and scribe, and I had a pretty attractive offer as well, out there. So it was not as it was gonna be done for free. It was gonna be $50 per exam. And the newspapers were very kind enough. I'll not say the newspaper's name because, like I said, don't want to get into trouble. Going into trouble with copyrights and whatnot. But the newspaper, once I went there, they asked, what's this commercial for? I said that, well, I'm legally blind and I'm about to sit an exam, and my school said to provide my own reader writer, so this is just a commercial out there for anyone who's interested, so that I can have a practice exam with them, and based on how they react, I can basically hire them, if you will. I mean, not as a proper employment. It's just it's like a one-time deal, but maybe for 2 or 3 exams. The guy who it is, bless his heart, he said, you know what? Take your money back. We'll run this commercial for free. And I'm like, geez, thanks. and it was like upwards of $100, like I think per day or something, or per week or something. To run a small section of that for the commercial. He said, "No, take your money back. We're gonna run this commercial for free." Like, wow, thank you. And through the interview process, I got in touch with a Filipino woman. Unfortunately, she has passed away. But yeah, like where I was, she was one of the most unique Filipino people that I have met. Because generally, like, where I was, like, the Filipinos generally tend to stick to their own communities. Like, they don't mingle. The city where I was, they don't generally mingle with people from, like, from the South Asian countries. But this one was different. This one was much more open-minded, and she was much more friendly. So, I mean, I even attended her birthday, her younger sister's birthday. Yeah, but unfortunately, like, the exam that I sat, like, she did the best she could, but like it was could have been a bit more efficient. But I don't blame her for that, because this is a job that it needs some serious prior practice. So I ended up getting C's, and a C is below 70% is a C. I ended up getting 2 C's. I remember once I got that, I actually went down on my knees, and like I beat myself up for it. I'm like, I am not a C student. Like, no, I am not a C student. And I said, you know what? I have to prove them wrong. And I was like, the fire in my eyes. I had to prove them wrong. And then there was a re-exam in January 2008. I said, I'm going to sit that exam, and I am going to best. I'm going to better this. I am not a C student. And yes, at that time, like, I was applying to different universities. The University of Leeds were one, and they were accepting C's. I'm like, but me, I took it as a personal offense to myself that, like, how could I have? I'm such a good student. How could I have gotten 2 C's? And after that, the 6 months that went, I would day in and day out, I finished past papers. I finished mock exams. I did them again. I'm like, no, I am not getting C's again. And this time, my friend, he's in Canada right now. Like, you know who you are. Thank you very much for your help. Very, very much for your help. In fact, he's the brother of one of the new subscribers. First of all, thank you very much for all the new subscribers. Like, I believe some of you are my friends as well, like from school days. I really missed, hearing from you. So glad to know. We're, at least in some capacity, we're still in touch. But one of my friends, he helped me out. Not one. I'm sorry. 2 of my friends, him and his younger brother, man. We had a lot of fun together, man. He was my homie, and I'm still in touch with that dude, man. I'm still in touch with that dude. I hope you're having a blast in Canada, man. Like, he just recently, he got settled in, pretty well in Canada, man. Hit me up on Skype, buddy. You know who you are. Who I'm talking about. You know who you are. Hit me up on Skype. All right. But yeah. So these people had practice, and they knew me enough to know what I was going to do, what I was going to say. Especially when it came to mathematics and biology, to an extent as well, but especially when it came to mathematics, because this friend. These 2 people, we learned under the same teacher in my previous school. So we knew how each other thought mathematically, how we would write the answers down. So so communication was much more easier. And yes, there was an invigilator. It's not like we cheated or no, there was an invigilator. Like people were observing us. All right, so that happened, and I ended up getting, and this is the Excel system. 80 and up is an A. I ended up getting a 79 in mathematics and a 77 in biology. These were like as close as I could get to an A. And I actually there was one paper I ended up not doing that well. There was the mechanics 2 paper, because the mechanics thing is you have to visualize way too much. It was just not possible for me. So I ended up not doing that good in that paper. But had I gotten maybe 3 or 4 marks extra, I would have gotten an A. And I was surprised. My forte was biology, but I ended up doing better in mathematics. But yeah, so that was the end of that. I'm like, you know what, this, I'm like almost an A student, and I just there's a few grades I just left it to chance. I remember one of the questions, it said that solve this problem in the form a square root b, and I was doing this all in my mind. I did not have that much of a look on the paper. Yeah, I used to make something down with a sketch marker, but there's even that A4 paper, there's a limit. There's a limit to how much large text you can write on it. So yeah, and I remember the answer ended up being, I believe, 180. Square root 180. Only when I was walking, when I was being driven home, I'm like, oh my god, 108, square root 180 is 6 square root 5. The answer was right there. But yeah, based on that, I ended up getting into the University of Leeds, and they said, you know what, we'd be happy to have you. We'd be really, really happy to have you. And yes, I ended up doing the IELTS exam as well. The IELTS exam, there was a bit of a discussion on how my thing is going to be, my needs are going to be accommodated, and some arrangement was made. And my IELTS exam, I ended up doing decently as well. My friend's my friend's younger brother, let's just call him AM. Yeah, AM helped me out a lot as well in that. So yeah, so the bottom line is, I still had to stick to subjects where I could not perform practical exams. I still had to stick to it, and I had to be reduced to the bare minimum. And when I investigated, it turns out that the Edexcel was the only option that I had, because under the Cambridge board, even the biology, you had to perform some lab experiments and be examined upon it. So the Edexcel was the only option that I had. But anyways, that's basically the tales of how I made it through to my high school. If I ever get a chance to go back, which I highly doubt it'll even in the distant future, I'll get a chance to go back. But if I ever get a chance to go back, I would like to visit this school one time. But I doubt any of the relevant staff is still going to be there. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. I used to constantly visit my previous school. In fact, one of the days, once I got a 93 or 94%, I was so over the moon. I went to my old school. I said that, look at this. There was a 54% as well. One of the teachers said no, you got a 54 in, I believe, in chemistry. I said, no, but I'm going to drop chemistry. I don't get that much support in chemistry. But look at this. Your former student is excelling, because I wanted my former teachers to be proud of the hard work they put in. Oh yeah, it brings me to another story. We had a function at our previous school, and I was awarded a plaque for my efforts for my award. And by the way, for my award, my previous school actually influenced me getting that award as well because they fought my case. So thank you very much for that previous school, and for the people, you know who you are. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So there was an award. No, sorry, there was a function, and there's like a it's like a just a a youth talent function. A lot of parents were there, and the owner of the school actually called me up and said like, we would like to present you with this award. And I remember like she gave me a like squeeze on the shoulder saying like, okay, like wrap it up, like cut it short. But I remember saying that this award is not just is not just an award for me, but it is an award for all the teachers who helped me and who believed in me and who pushed me and who put in the extra effort just to teach me. And I remember that received an enormous round of applause. So anyways, that concludes my schooling in my country of birth, not my country of citizenship, in my country of birth. So it ended in January 2008, like 2005, September 2005 to January 2008. All right, let me know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you have any further questions, please put it down in the comment section below and hit that like, subscribe, bell notification buttons. Thank you if you already have. I use all the feedback as inspirations and motivation to make further videos. All right. Next video will be most likely in this series going to be that about the. I mean, I can say it now because like they're a well-known university, the University of Leeds in the UK. All right. Have a good day.